What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the pit.
What are we going to do today? Today, we're going to be doing some shoulder presses. So I decided to make a little short video. It's kind of outlining why we do the shoulder press, or a push press, or a seated shoulder press, or a dumbbell shoulder press, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I know that if I don't include all those in there, when I'm over here doing my push presses and I call it a shoulder press, somebody's going to be like, oh, that's actually a push press, not a shoulder press. Whatever, dude. Other than getting some momentum with your knees, it's basically the same damn thing. You're working the same muscles, okay? Now that that's out of the way, let's move forward. There are people out there that think that you have to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different movements, different exercises to strengthen your shoulders, to get good big shoulders. Well, I don't have the biggest shoulders in the world, but I wouldn't necessarily call them deficient. And all I've ever done is barbell and dumbbell presses, just overhead presses. You know, there have been times as I was coming up that I would do, you know, lateral raises and so on and so forth, but not really enough to really add a lot of size, you know. I wouldn't be surprised to say that 96% of all the strength, mass, all the gains that I've gotten in my shoulder girdle have been from barbell presses or dumbbell presses. It works so much. Well, what does it work? Well, let me tell you. Obviously, it works your front delts, it works your middle delts, but what about your rear delts? Well, that's why you deadlift. That's why you do pulling motions. And I'm going to say that it does work your rear delt too, because you have to stabilize that weight, okay? I'm going to show you something. All right, while I'm warming up, I'm going to press this. But while I'm in my fully extended position, I want you to look and see what all is involved in stabilizing this load as I carry it over my head. All right, see if your rear delts aren't involved. Check it out and see if pretty much your entire body's not involved in stabilizing this weight. You know, your posterior chain, your abs. I mean, I've had my quads cramp up so bad from a heavy press just by straining and trying to stabilize that weight until I locked it out. Happens all the time. All right, let me show you. I can tell you, just in the warm-up process alone, I can feel my entire posterior chain just tensing up and fighting that load. All the way down my spinal erectors to my lower back, into my quads. Your knees definitely carry a large brunt of that exercise. What do you mean? As you're bringing that weight down and getting ready to push it back up, all that force is having to be transferred through your knees, just like every other joint underneath it in your body. And I can tell you something, wrapping my knees for heavy presses helps me a lot. Even if I'm just doing a standard press, it doesn't have to be a push press, but definitely I wrap on a push press. Just think about it, every time you come down, it's coming down on your knees. Probably more so than any other exercise. You know, with a squat, you're bending your knees all the way, and that very much absorbs that shock coming down. With an overhead press, you're just there, baby. All the way up, all the way back down, all the way up. Anybody that's got a heavy press and has some years on them probably has some slightly sore knees after a press. That's been my experience. And listen, when I make these videos, I'm just telling you things that I think might help you, just based on my training and my experiences and things like that. You know, I don't know everything. And I'm sure that I've had some unique experiences, but in general, I think anybody that moves through the process and gets into the realm of heavier weights kind of has to do it the same way, and they're going to experience a lot of the same experiences, most of the same experiences. I'm just here to give you a heads up on what to expect if you're a younger lifter, and maybe kind of give you a way to circumvent some of these issues that you're going to run into if you're an older lifter. Okay? Let's roll. Get you some lifting shoes. Some real thin lifting shoes. I use these for my deadlifting and my shoulder presses. They really help give me a more stable foundation than a spongy pair of tennis shoes. All right, for mostly everything else in the gym, besides squats, but when you're doing heavy lifts and you need a solid foundation, you want something with a very thin sole. Go to Walmart, go to the slipper section, buy these for $9. Take the tiny little useless insole out of them. You'll have these forever. I got them on sale for $1. Bought 3 pair. Now last week I went heavy. All right, I did the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 workout, and then rolled back and used my starting weight for the 5 rep portion of it, which was 225, to do an AMRAP set. So I'm coming off of a pretty brutal workout for my shoulders. Think of it as the last heavy workout of a 5-3-1 workout or something like that, where you kind of start over with a deload week, kind of like the end of a 4 or 5 week cycle, you know what I mean? So this week I probably won't go as heavy as I did last week, because I got a PR last week. I got 305, and I was pretty happy about that. So let's take this for a few reps and we'll see what we're going to do. Time for a deload week for sure. That's why I like heavy compound movements. It builds a hell of a base. Anybody that's worth their salt will tell you that's the best thing in the world for building a good, strong base. Then you can go any direction you want to after that. You know, into any realm of weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, bodybuilding, whatever. CrossFit, whatever. But you need that base to be built first. And there's no better way to build it than deadlifts, squats, bench presses, and shoulder presses, and dips, and chins, or something like that. Some kind of pull, other than the deadlift. All right, let's get this.